There was also another 4-year-old that grabbed a plastic chair. Oh, B-Rock and Diego will appreciate this. She took a chair and hit another kid in the back. But she had the best in she
fucking
had
WWE in fucking
exactly.
preschool.
She had like good in
Beep.
So I'm gonna do the intro proper. And
Lord, why?
that we're gonna be doing this on. Wait, we don't have a proper intro.
We don't have an intro.
What's going on, everyone? Welcome to the Awkward Tea
no.
Party. That's it. We just go right into it.
We don't give a fuck.
There's a lot that's on the list that we kind of sent. I don't know if we're gonna go through all of it.
No.
But yeah, there's definitely a lot of things that Max and I are gonna talk about. And those of you guys hopping on first time on live or listening to us, Awkward Tea Party is essentially us just awkwardly fumbling through, client stuff, culture, and talking about whatever we want to talk about, essentially.
Especially that last part.
especially that last part. Recently, the creators of Avatar started a whole new their own studio, and I have not worked in animation in ages. But if I were to go back into the animation industry, I would definitely want to work there. I'm not a fan of, and it's the thing is it's 2D animation, so I'm not that great at it. I think my teacher said I was good at it, but I wasn't that great. I didn't like the whole process of having to redraw the same character over and over and over and make sure that it was on model. That's why I like doing 3D animation. Anyways, but I'm excited for them to continue expanding with what they're going to do with Avatar, because it showed so much that how much people love the franchise. Like even when it came out like early, like last year, like it was like the number two cartoon that we watched in Netflix, not internationally.
Well, so, yeah. It also kind of timed perfectly with the fact that we were locked down.
That's true. It definitely helped out with my sales in terms of like online. It's everything online. Like everyone's focusing more on, binge watching the shows that they want to watch. But I definitely
now they have time.
Yeah,
some of them.
I'm excited to see what they have to do in terms of like expanding it. Cause I don't know if I want them to continue expanding Aang's legacy though. That's the thing, because I feel like it was kind of left at a good note. The only hole that was missing was, Zuko's mom, but that was already solved in the comics.
Yeah. So if you didn't read the comics.
So yeah,
reading is fundamental.
But yeah, I really like them to maybe introduce a new Avatar. Obviously, I think that they're gonna do that. They're probably gonna do that. Obviously, they're gonna be starting off with a movie, then starting off with a new series. But it shows like if one thing that it proves, it shows that the whole Marvel Cinematic Universe thing, if that's done properly, you can make a whole bunch of fucking shit. Now the Star Wars universe and Pixar universe, it's like, fuck, dude. And now they're gonna
the Babish Culinary Universe.
The thing that sucks though is that it's only exclusively going to be on what the fuck is
Paramount Plus.
Is that one? Yeah.
Yeah, Paramount Plus.
Yeah,
Paramount Plus has like all the CBS stuff plus the Viacom stuff.
Yeah, so
that included like a bunch of VH1, MTV, Nickelodeon stuff.
So yeah, I think that the streaming wars are real.
Mm-hmm. It's only a matter of time before Legend of Korra and Netflix are both pulled out of, like, Legend of Korra and Avatar: Last Airbender are both pulled out of Netflix, only to be kind of only to be shoved into Paramount Plus. Historically, Viacom and Netflix never played very well.
I wouldn't doubt it. These are media giants, and Netflix was a small player back then, but now it's essentially a threat. Then they've been going ham on like releasing new content like practically every week. So because if anything that Netflix is learning from all these properties being pulled out is that IP is huge. You need to have like a lot of original content. Otherwise, Disney does their thing and pulls it out. You have things like The Office being pulled out, Parks and Rec being pulled out.
That's what I'm pissed about. Parks and Rec. The Office, whatever. I prefer the UK version, like a snob that I
am. I haven't watched either one, but I thoroughly enjoyed Parks and Rec. But I'm excited to see how they're going to expand the universe. There's people like theorizing that I'd actually like to see it, like how the Avatar would operate in a cyberpunk type universe. Because it shows that each year, like the technology is advancing each Avatar.
Fair.
Because and then what they're like looks like the 1920s. So what?
Ish.
So by the time she's done, it'll probably be like, it wouldn't be that exciting. It'll be the freaking the 1990s, and we have lived that era.
Excuse me.
Like the 80s.
Excuse me, the tracksuits.
So that's true, but it would just be interesting. I don't know, because it feels so close that it just like meh. Like I experienced the 90s, so
think of the soundtrack though.
I don't know. I mean, the soundtrack. I almost feel I'm imagining really corny hip hop, like
exactly.
Beats, and I'd just much rather not. But I'd love to see a cyberpunk Avatar Earthbender. So let me know what you guys are thinking in the chat. Neff says she still needs to get into the Avatar less Airbender. The Airbender. Yeah. So
ATLE Airbender.
I'd like to see something with a non-bender protagonist. Ooh, that'd be an interesting one.
That'd be cute.
A non-bender protagonist.
Oh my god.
Because a lot of it is focused on that. So it'd be cool to like maybe they might do that. Like you know how they did with Han Solo, where they gave him his own movie. It'd be good to have a series just on
they also
another.
flubbed that movie, but
fair. I mean,
that's why we need a Lando movie.
That's why we need Jon Favreau just handling all the.
That's why we need a Lando movie, because anything Donald Glover touches is gold.
So if they do a cyberpunk, B-Rock says if they do a cyberpunk Avatar, there wouldn't be any more bending because they'd just be shooting that out of their hands for real. But that's the thing. Like it's showing like a lot more with Korra's stuff is that the inequality in a sense from the benders and non-benders. It'll show like maybe even a war between non-benders and benders because they will have equal footing. Because it felt like that. Like it was definitely going towards that with Legend of Korra. Especially with I forgot Amon in the first season. Mm-hmm. It was definitely leaning towards like a world war in the sense of benders versus non-benders. Honestly, I liked Korra a lot. Unpopular opinion. I think
I liked it. I knew why a lot of people didn't.
I mean, the pacing and everything just felt rushed. Yeah.
Well, because they didn't know that they had 3 seasons. They thought they had 1 season, so they had to wrap everything up in that season. They thought they had a 2nd season. Cool. They thought that'd stop there. But no, they got a 3rd season, and now they had all these ideas that they're shoving into the 3rd season.
Yeah, Korra definitely would have been like one of those shows that needed like 6 seasons
and a movie
and a movie to thoroughly flesh out like all the complex bad guys.
So much was going on.
Yeah, and then because sometimes they're like when I'd be in the next episode, I'm like, what the fuck? How much time passed in between an episode? So yeah, Nickelodeon.
Well, they fumbled a lot, not just with Korra. We'll get to that later.
So I mean, it's disappointing, like because I thought like I loved the fact that she already had majority of the what do you call it the bending. I thought the thing she went through versus Aang was way more intense. She had to go through like trauma and PTSD and stuff like and real like almost like practically like adult shit, and you see like time skips of like them growing up. So,
and she's a legendary bicon. Come on.
Yeah, so it was great. I love I loved her as a character. I loved the ideas of what they did with her, and I honestly wouldn't mind seeing what they could do with her even more. Nicely paced, because I think a lot of people might have thought that she was like too. I mean, she did get her ass kicked a lot for someone who was like completely OP. Yeah, who was OP versus, but I mean, she was also dealing with like Vatu and those spirit animal spirits and all that, and other people who were figuring out technology try to beat an avatar. Because
like before in the original series, it was like benders were just straight up powerful, like non-benders never stood a chance in a sense ish, besides like Sokka, obviously. But like people like Sokka. But it's like with Korra, you're seeing people like with the advancement of technology, you're seeing people like, oh shit, we can have these. We just have to make it.
Yeah, and that's why
it evens out the playing field, and
that's why I'd love to see.
Makes for good fight scenes.
That's why I'd love to see it in a cyberpunk scene where like benders and non-benders can be equal. Like it don't matter if you're you're naturally born with it, or if you can fucking purchase it through a pistol.
Or your parents decide, oh, I want my kid to have firebending, gene splicing.
Oh shit! Even that. Was it the hybrids?
Yeah, speaking of Nickelodeon, because like Nev said, Nickelodeon fumbled a lot. So, very recently, iCarly, created by Dan Schneider, was like they released 2 seasons on Netflix, and also all of Salmon Cat and all of Victorious are both on Netflix still, I believe. Anyway, so Dan Schneider, for all you children out there, was the creator, the creepiest man alive, was the creator of beloved shows of my childhood, like All That, The Amanda Show, during my teen years, Drake and Josh, and then eventually like iCarly and Victorious and some other random shit that I stopped watching. So he left Nickelodeon. I didn't even know he left Nickelodeon, but he left Nickelodeon. But he left Nickelodeon quietly and was given $7 million to leave. No, he wasn't just fired. He was just like, here's $7 million. Please leave.
Damn, that's a nice
so like allegations
severance.
were all coming out. Yeah, allegations were all coming out mostly from, they all kind of stemmed from Amanda Bynes. You know, people were like, because Amanda Bynes is also under a conservatorship that's, I mean, she did have like, you know,
I didn't know that.
A breakdown a long time ago and did some shit like most child stars have. But yeah, so she's in a conservatorship, and you know, like people are like Britney Spears, people are writing her off as just, oh, she just went crazy.
Yeah.
Like whatever happened to her? What happened to this beautiful young woman? Now she has a heart tattoo on her face. It's cute, first of all. So anyway, so like allegations started coming out from Amanda Bynes, basically, you know, talking about like trauma from her childhood and blah, blah, blah. And then leaving like clues about, you know, it was like Dan did it or whatever. And then people started digging into it. It's like, oh, you know, people started digging and people started rewatching, and, you know, like the whole Dan Schneider, like cinematic universe. And, you know, there was that like weird obsession with feet for like the quote unquote funny bits. Like some of them are kind of funny, but at the same time, that's just way too much feet. Like there was way too much screen time of feet. Now I'm not like kink shaming anyone that's into feet. That is on you. But if you are literally obsessed with putting feet of minors on camera, you got a problem.
Yeah,
those are minors, because those kids started as kids playing kids their age essentially.
It was almost like this whole production. All these productions were just glorified ways to try to lure kids in.
Yeah.
To try to. I mean, I haven't seen any of it. The only reason I.
Oh, I've been seeing those like heavily. I mean, there was another one where I think somebody came out and like they didn't come out, like she didn't say her name, like she didn't want to be a part of this whole thing, but they I think auditioned for a Dan Schneider production, or they just wanted to audition for something.
Yeah.
Yeah, like Diego said, like kids had to come in, no shoes on. They would have like party, like the auditions would be like parties essentially. It's like, oh, would your child be down to come to with no feet, come to this like, you know, party, and you know, requirements are you have to be dressed in a bikini and not wear shoes. Minors, burgeoning young women.
This is wow.
And also there was like pictures of Dan Schneider and Amanda Bynes, and he's like holding on to her like you would hold me. And she was like 12.
Like, what, like hold like
you know, there's like cast pictures of like the production of like, you know, the creator and like the child star, like kind of like this, you know, or whatever.
Yeah.
But the pictures of her, like his hand were a little too low.
Oh.
Not because she's short, but like it's right at her hip, close to her ass. And then also, who was it? And then I think it was like, it seemed harmless, like, you know, not knowing what was going on behind the scenes. It seemed harmless. I'm like, that's a little too much feet, but whatever. Until you get to like the more modern ones, like Victorious, even iCarly, but mostly like Victorious and like Sam and Cat, you know, like there's like skits and like bonus videos that were just a little too creepy. That's just like, you can't even excuse that as hey, we hid this adult joke in here for shits and giggles. Like whatever. There was that one clip of Ariana Grande's character, Kat, trying to squeeze liquid out of a potato. And so it was a russet potato. And I don't know if they chose that potato specifically, but like it was just like very phallic in shape. Like russet potatoes are kind of like long and huge, like my penis.
Okay.
But
oh my God, no.
But like, you know, it was just a little too phallic of a potato to be coincidence, maybe. But like essentially she was grabbing the potato like this, like in her hand with both hands, squeezing and going, ah!
Leave Bulbasaur alone.
No, I'm sorry.
For those of you guys listening to the audio podcast, she's holding.
I'm squeezing my stuffed Bulbasaur.
And those of you guys listening to the audio podcast when this comes out, and
just watch it on video.
If we occasionally say things to like people, we're also acknowledging people on the chat. So
why aren't you there anyway? But yeah, she was like squeezing it, and she goes, "Come on, give up the juice."
That
Like-
that was a line.
That was the line. She literally said, "Give up the juice," to a potato that's phallic shaped.
I wonder if these kids actually knew, or the parents
know.
knew these lines.
I don't
It was
even
like
know.
one of those like situations. Like, I don't know if we feel good about this, but this is a good gig, and it's like, and it pays a lot. So like,
Yeah. So
no
like, you know,
speaking
these
up get
parents
you in
are
trouble.
these parents are just letting these kids go unsupervised to these pool parties with like a bunch of adults as well. Like, how much trust do they put in there, or are they just, I guess we need this.
I would
'Cause
assume
it's
the parents are on
Nickelodeon.
set.
No. Well, not on set, but like, I mean the like bikini pool parties.
Oh, actual pool parties
Yeah, they would have like pool parties.
without the parents.
But parents
Oh,
aren't allowed
Parents aren't allowed.
to go in there. Yeah.
That is shady. I don't know how I would feel about that. I mean,
Exactly.
what are these like? These are teenagers. These are like,
Yeah, they're
like
tweens.
preteens.
They're 12. They're burgeoning
Oh.
young women.
I mean, like, if it's a teenager, I can understand. Like, if I was Jordan, was like going to a pool party, me being there would be uncool. You're like, Dad, you're embarrassing me. But then that age, it makes sense. Like, they're still like, they still need to be supervised. They still need to be.
Yeah. Especially if you're just leaving them in the care of someone you don't fucking know. Just because they're famous or like a famous director doesn't mean you know them. You know their name.
There's someone definitely taking advantage of their influence and their power.
Yeah, I believe Liz Gillies got brought up because her husband, if people don't know, she's actually married. So Liz Gillies is only like 3 years younger than me. Her husband is 20 years older than her. So, and he was a producer in Victorious, I believe. Yeah. And they made it sound like they started dating when she was 20. So 20 and 40, not super creepy, whatever. It's just 20 years. But there were kind of like allegations or speculations that she was essentially groomed. Like these are allegations. I'm not saying this is true, but like there were allegations saying that she was like, you know, the whole time she was on set, she was being groomed. And then when the time came that it was okay to tell people that they were dating, it was a little sketch because like she started, because Victorious came out 2011, I believe.
I never watched the show, so
or like 2010. So she would have had to be 16 or 17 or 15 even, like depending on like production schedules.
Yeah.
When they started filming Victorious, even auditions. And so like, you know, like looking at that timeline, and then they started dating when she was 20, and then by the time she was 20, Victorious was over.
Yeah.
So it was just, you know, people were like, did they really just start dating, or, you know, or did they just realize, oh, kind of like this guy, kind of like this girl, she's old enough now, or been waiting for her to be old enough now? There's a difference. Like, you know, just realizing like by the time she hits 20, coincidentally, oh, I like this person, as opposed to, I like this person, but I'll wait till she's 20.
I mean, I don't know the whole story. It's
exactly.
It's
well,
like,
I'm telling you the story.
Yeah, no, that's crazy. Like, I don't know. I really don't know what to say. Don't know what to say.
Well,
about
the thing
that.
is, these are all like allegations, and you know, but still, like it's a little sketch coming from
the one that
production house.
Diego just shared on the chat is pretty wild too.
See, that's more on the like conspiracy-ish stuff, but like I still wouldn't doubt that. It could be Dan. It could be somebody else on the production team.
Ooh, yeah. See, that's scary. Like, just as a parent, that's pretty scary.
But then and then there was also, she never said any names, but like Jeanette McCurdy, you know, kind of said, like, opened up like in a podcast and in other interviews that like, you know, like her like experience like filming iCarly and Sam and Cat were like not the fondest memories. She never said any names. She never mentioned any names. She didn't even say, you know, like she didn't even like, people were like saying that like Ariana Grande started getting paid more than Jeanette McCurdy, and then Ariana's like, no, she didn't say anything. But yeah, like she was just like not happy as like, you know, doing that. She was not happy at Nickelodeon.
Yeah.
Because like with her history, it was, you know, she was essentially the main breadwinner of her family. Like her mom was just like, here, be famous. Like literally threw her into tap dance classes, and it's like, be famous, make us money.
Jeez, just breeding these kids.
Essentially. And so, you know, and you know, she like regretted the character, and I mean, a lot of people loved the character. I did. She loves food, and she has anger issues. But it's you know, it's like weird. Actually, what's weirder is like there were people's reactions to her saying that she was embarrassed by that role. She regretted ever taking it.
Yeah.
I mean, it was a very one-note character. Her mother put her through all these classes for her to just play a one-note character.
I mean,
it's not fulfilling.
Yeah.
I mean, as she matured, the character didn't.
Yeah, it's almost like she's just
like, I kind of want to do something else.
It's almost like there was no character growth.
Yeah, and she got like pigeonholed too.
Yeah. Speaking of like you mentioned conservatorship earlier. Like we watched the Britney Spears freaking thing. Yeah, that was crazy because it just was wild. Like it was only a decade ago. Like the whole mental health thing was not even a conversation, and everyone was,
well, everyone was like piling onto it. It was just like, like from Jay Leno to David Letterman, every late night host except Craig Ferguson, like literally used that entire like saga as fodder for easy jokes. Craig Ferguson was like, I am not going to take pot shots at this girl. She is going through some shit. Like, I will make jokes about everything else, not Britney Spears.
Yeah, because it's a shame that a lot of people lacked empathy to see that people were actually upset or that they're going through stuff. But the thing is,
because she's famous, nobody cares. Like, if you're famous, your life must be good.
Yeah, that's what a lot of people think. Like, if you have XYZ, if you have all this, it must be easy for you. But no one ever really takes a moment to try to, I guess, put themselves in their shoes. But the thing is, like, they're presented in such a glamorous light, and they'll have all this attention and money. People overlook the realness of what really happens.
Essentially, they don't want to see them being real. They just want to go dance, monkey dance.
Yeah, like they don't want you. It's very much like how when athletes start speaking up about
shut
politics.
Up and dribble.
Yeah, shut up and dribble. Yeah, keep your mic a little closer because you're getting a little echoey.
But yeah, was it because like even the whole like head shaving incident? Why did I put quotation marks on that? Yeah, she shaved her head. Like that whole thing was, people were like, oh, she had a mental breakdown. Yes and no. Yes and no. Because she shaved her head and she literally said, I don't want people touching me anymore. So I shaved my head.
Yeah. I mean, it makes sense. Like,
I relate to that so heavily. I would never shave my head because I don't look as good as Britney Spears does with a shaved head. But yeah, I like famous or not, who wants to be touched by people they don't want touching them?
Yeah. No consent. Just like assuming like it's okay just because you're famous.
Being famous is not implied consent. Like I see people all the time just running up to random celebrities, like obviously pre-COVID, like, and just hugging them, not even asking, hugging them.
Yeah.
Like there's a show from like the Philippines that I watch, and they're the hosts of the show, like not half, but like 3 or 4 of them are like out like in the public, like out in like the communities or whatever, like hosting the show from there. And sometimes people leave their house, like they'll leave their houses to watch, like they're more than welcome to, but some of them just literally will run past security to hug the hosts. Yeah. And they just try to be like
well, yeah, because when people watch the shows, even on YouTube, it's the whole like parapersonal, like
parasocial.
There you go, parasocial relationship. Like they think that because they're watching or consuming the content that they're in, they know them. Mm-hmm. So
yeah, K-pop idols getting mobbed at airports. Freaking Neff, what are they called? Saesangs, like the ones that stalk them.
Oh, that's scary. And then
the ones that feel the most entitled, and even the ones that get mad when their idols date, have the audacity to be attracted to another person and date.
I mean, that's like the same with a lot.
I hate that rule. First of all,
is that a legit rule?
It is
a legit rule from what? Their
labels.
Labels?
Yeah.
Jesus.
Right, Neff? The no dating thing.
Yeah. Oh wow.
Some of them don't even get their phones for a year.
They don't get phones.
They don't get their phones for a year.
Jesus.
Yep. Some companies do have dating bans and contracts.
Yeah. So like we're reading the Sun Chat.
Twitch female, especially B-Rock just brought it up. Twitch streamers, female Twitch streamers keep their identity secret, and sometimes, especially if they're a very very attractive female Twitch streamer, they have to appear single or say from the get go that they have a boyfriend. Because if their fans suddenly found out that they had a boyfriend or any significant other, they were just like, you're a piece of shit. I'm like, what, for dating? Like people will like unsub, they'll stop tipping, they'll stop, giving bits, whatever.
Wow.
Just because, they no longer see this person as a viable sexual partner anymore.
Because they're that makes me worried for them if they're actually if they're attracted to someone in real life, that they within even their circle, like what would they do? Like it sounds like they have like these are the type of people that
they will take their fedoras off in rage.
Yeah, like God.
and get plastic surgery to look like a Chad.
Like it makes me like worried because like these are people just essentially playing fake scenarios in their head that one day I'll be with this person.
Delusion.
It's
a
not healthy.
delusion
That's not
that isn't
good.
the fault of the famous person.
Yeah.
And like, that's why there's a rise of VTubers, because girls are like, no.
I mean, just on a quick tangent, what is it, Miko Codes? It's nothing bad. It's just like I just love the technology she's using because it's friggin' brilliant.
Hers is a lot smoother than the rest of the VTubers.
To just bring it on the lighter note.
That's really nice.
We started this episode pretty fucking heavy. I saw her setup. It's an actual mocap suit in the whole thing. And me coming from the video game industry, I just like, what?
Isn't that like way too warm though?
No, they're actually like they're really like
are they breathable?
And they're thin.
Oh.
So it's not it's essentially like we're wearing like a spandex with tracking markers. So and
with ping pong balls
and ping pong balls. I guess it depends now because when I was doing it was ping pong balls, but now it's just like specific
like dots or whatever,
dots or like lines, and it depends on the camera. That what
depends on
so
the tech.
I mean, that's just me nerding out because coming from the video game industry, I'm like, what? You can do it for fucking streaming that easily now?
Yeah, fuck, right,
dude.
That used to be like reserved for video games and Lord of the Rings.
No, this is when I saw this technology first come out back in 2008 when it was still concept. When I was at a conference called E3. I don't know.
Oh, you went to E3?
Yeah, like that. Like I went to E3 and it was like, yeah, this is new technology, mocap without the balls, and I got to try it. And I was like, oh yeah, I'm locking like without the tracking markers.
And this little stick man on the screen is locking.
Yeah, and I was like, what? Like. That's freaking. It was great. It was new technology to me to then, like just to see where it is now. And I've seen people
TV
like
mocap skits. Oh my god!
And like I've seen people like jerry rig their own Xbox or PlayStation cameras to make mocap things. Anyways, that's beside the point. That makes sense why people are doing VTubers to kind of hide their identity from, I guess, creepy fans. I mean, those are type of people, I guess, that can use some social skills that I went through in college. But then again, those also sound like the type of people that would use those types
that
of
would
skills,
refuse to grow out of it,
or even use it in a perverse manner where it's like more taking advantage of it.
True.
Yeah.
Like either they'll go full, they'll go full nice guy and put like a second fedora hat on and be like
a second fedora.
Well, actually, toxic masculinity. Anyway, speaking of toxic masculinity, I saw this meme where it said, the term toxic masculinity opens us up to the possibility of the existence of a gimme more masculinity, a baby one more time.
Yo, stupid. I'm like, I've never heard of these types of masculinities.
Anyway, yeah, no, they're like, those dudes are just either they're gonna double down on the nice guy thing and be like, you only like dudes that are assholes. Like, I am so much better for you. God. I can do so much for you. I can give you better life.
Oh, we're Twitch.
That's shit. You're not allowed to say it. Simply stupid.
Whoops.
We'll talk about that later, B-Rock.
So
we're lightening up the mood before we bring it back down. What was I gonna say? But yeah, either they're gonna do that or they're actually going to soup.
I said soup.
Yeah, soup. That or they're gonna go the opposite way and just start acting like an asshole, but like for no fucking reason. They're just gonna be like super like woman hating, more misogynist than usual. Like, they will evolve and they will get into their final, they will assume their final form.
What?
Ben Shapiro.
Well, yeah, that's the thing. I guess lack of social skills really plays into it, and I don't know, self-esteem and whatnot. I mean,
I don't have social skills.
I don't know. I think there's a lot of. I'm just taking broad strokes and making blanket statements. I don't know everyone's situation, but yeah, like I think. I mean, it's just sad that it's almost like walking on eggshells and dealing with abuse, almost like an abusive relationship where it's like you have to walk on eggshells and present yourself in a certain way. In terms of a brand, I could see why people would do such a thing, but then it goes into the whole thing of being inauthentic because I mean, it also depends on the quote unquote celebrity if they want to share that part. But at the end of it, it's like not sharing it when you want to is being inauthentic with yourself.
Yeah. The whole appearing single thing, like, can be either, like, I'm not saying all female streamers that appear single, like to their public profile, like it makes them appear single. is just for like, security purposes, but like it's also probably just they know their audience, and they're just like, they're probably just like, hey babe, I'm gonna stream, get away, go away go to the other room.
Oh God,
you don't exist to these people, to this like subset of people. You don't exist.
Jeez, I don't know how I'd feel. Like how I'd feel if I had to hide a certain aspect of myself. I mean,
try to hide me.
I'm gonna hide Max right now. Hold on, I'm gonna ban you from this chat.
Fine, ban me from the chat. I'm still here.
B-Rock, you down?
I'll do it first.
So no.
Neff, do it.
I mean, there's only like certain things that I think are that I don't show, like me, like, and I share, I think, a lot with my podcast is I share a lot of crude jokes that would only be acceptable with friends because we have the rapport to do it. If I were to randomly say it and people could take that out of context, I would get in a lot of trouble. So just have a picture of B-Rock as a stand-in. So yeah.
I'll buy you a full life-size standee of B-Rock. B-Rock, send me a picture. We'll buy Emeroy one.
We'll create a B-Rock body pillow and sell it as Vision Paradox merch. Oh yeah. Well, let's go back to the whole Britney Spears thing, because like I think what was fascinating throughout the whole time is just like the mental, I guess, anguish or challenge that she was going through, and feeling alone throughout the whole process, that she couldn't talk to anyone. And because the whole mental health stigma or even therapy was just not that mainstream yet. It's not as like a common thing as like, us talking about like, therapy and all that stuff.
Oh yeah, I was talking about that yesterday. Yeah, like, and also it didn't really help. I mean, okay, she did need at some point with Amanda Bynes, she did need the conservatorship. I get it. Like she had a breakdown. Like they had to call 5150 on her. Was that necessary? Maybe. I don't know. But like she had a breakdown. Like she was already getting like hounded by like paparazzi. Like she's had it like officially. She shaved her head. Now people are just making fun of her for shaving her head. Not even
Amanda
acknowledging.
Britney Spears.
Britney Spears.
Okay.
And that was it. And then she was trying to see her kids, but Kevin Federline's like, nah, you don't get to see your kids. Won't let you see your kids.
That's hard.
So
man.
she obviously you're a parent.
Yeah.
If your ex told you couldn't see your child, you're probably gonna see red a little bit.
No, yeah, dude.
Maybe not. You maybe like not towards
red,
her,
but
you're gonna be pissed.
I would be sad, like big sad.
Yeah.
So because I mean, I went through like some like through the courts of like the whole dealing with CPS and then I was
but you didn't take an umbrella and bash someone's car with it.
Yeah, I mean,
I would.
I mean, yeah, I mean, I can definitely empathize when she did it, because she's communicated a million times to be left alone. These people are still.
And the thing is, the only reason why that was caught on camera was because somebody tipped this guy who was actually interviewed in that like documentary. Like he was a videographer at the time. I think he still is. And he and his photographer friend were tipped off that like, oh, Britney Spears is around here at Kevin Federline's house, so we're gonna go over there, take pictures and video of her. And then it was Britney and her cousin at a gas station by Kevin's house, and they were just sitting there. And like the cousin went to go pay for gas. I guess she left the car, which I don't know why she would leave the car and like go in to get gas. Like just use a credit card, please, because then she left Britney Spears alone.
Yeah, I
mean, she probably thought the coast was clear because like there were no like mobs of cameras, but there were two people. There was a video guy and a photo guy. And, the video guy was like filming her like up close going, Britney, how you doing? I'm worried about you. I'm like, bitch, if you're worried about her, turn your fucking camera off and actually have a conversation with her. You're just baiting her at this point. And so she was so pissed. Like this dude was just like snapping away, flash on. And this dude just has another camera in her face. It was B-Rock and Joey.
Fire you guys so fast for that.
You're fired. But yeah, like, so there's like two cameras in her face. One of them is just flashing, like there's a flash bulb just like in her eyes the whole time. And so she was just like, fuck it, fuck you. Like she literally said, fuck you, first of all. And then she grabbed an umbrella from the car and just whacked this dude's truck. And then he was just like, she whacked my truck. Just like, I didn't deserve that. And, the guy was like, well, didn't you think what you were doing caused her actions? He's like, no, she liked it. I mean, she liked it before she became a mom. When she became a mother, she's like, leave me alone, please. Because it got worse when she became a mom. I mean, because now everybody wants to see Britney's a bad mom. Britney's a bad mom.
Yeah, I think that's the thing.
She wasn't.
what that's tough, because when people start viewing you as an animal and start talking to you in a certain way, you start beating, I guess, in a sense, you start kind of embodying it in a sense. It's like, all these fuckers see me as this anyways. You know, that's why some people, you know, like, just to create another example, like just to create the relation of, you know, tabloids and media demonizing Britney Spears. One could say it's very similar with the American jail system and how people are treated. You know, albeit some people really do deserve it, but like there's a lot of people in there that shouldn't be. Versus countries in another world where they're rehabilitated and treated like humans, and they are released in society, and because they're treated like humans, like they're seen as the person is sick to, you know. So it's in a sense like, to, I guess, bring it back to the way they're treating her became a reflection, you know, the reflection of what she became, in a sense, because it's, you know, it's like, it's a feedback loop. When they're treating her like a queen, when you know, it gets works both ways, but ultimately when it comes to human boundaries and, you know, respecting other people, they definitely were crossing a lot of it.
Oh yeah.
Because I mean, when I see that, like, and I wouldn't want people talking bad about me, and that's why I like certain things, like
talk shit about him.
like, because then, you know, that becomes like, it's not going to be like the lasting legacy, but it hurts, and especially if they start attacking your character, it starts attacking like you as a parent. Like for me, that would hurt a lot. Or talking about, like, you know, like, just starts attacking you, like, without having any of the full story. And that's the thing that kind of bugs me with the current media system right now. It was like, a lot of it is like, you hear the story without fact checking.
Those are designed really, like, especially like tabloids and like anything similar. Those are designed to make the quote unquote normal people like us, the non-celebrities, the non-famous people, the non-millionaires, to feel superior somewhat to these quote unquote crazy celebrities. It's like, oh, I may be broke, but at least I'm not crazy. I may be broke, but at least I'm not a bad parent. I may be broke, but at least I'm not in conservatorship and I have control over what little money I have.
Yeah, it's sad, because then they forget that they're human at the end of the day.
Yeah.
I mean, even the people that are really deeply despised, I'm not going to drop names. Like, at the end of the day, I still see them as human, even though I think they're fucking idiots. So.
I mean, they're all idiots, but, you know, they're human. Like, leave them alone. And here's the thing, especially the ones that are universally despised, leave them alone. They're going to stop. They will eventually implode and try to stop pulling stunts.
Yeah, they're gonna be the cause of their own fault.
Just leave them alone. Because the harder you try to deplatform these people, the harder they're gonna keep trying to pull their shenanigans, because they're like, oh, people are still talking about me.
Yeah, it's the equivalent of
talking about them. Ignore them. They don't exist to you.
Of what I learned with parenting about bad behavior.
Yeah, like, don't pay attention to it.
Yeah, if the only way a kid gets your attention is through bad behavior, because even though it's like, don't do that and all that stuff, they're going to keep doing it because it's the only way they're going to get the parents' attention from an adult.
I used to work at a daycare, and this one kid, how old was she? She was 4. No, 3. She was 3. Doesn't matter, 1 year. Actually, that makes a whole lot of difference.
Development-wise, yeah.
Yeah, development-wise, it's either potty trained or not. Can either wipe their own butt or not. Anyway, so this kid, like, she's one of those. She's the one that acts up or whatever. And she's also like the baby sister.
Okay. So
like she thinks she's got it all. She thinks she's, she can have anything and everything. And when she doesn't, she acts up. So there was one time, like, as just like a general policy in like the place I worked at, and also like, as to back up the parents, it's like whatever snacks they're sent with, they need to eat and finish. And if they ask for a bonus snack, I'll give them that because they finished the snack as a reward. Like, hey, you essentially like, are grateful for your parents for sending you food. So here's your reward for gratitude. I don't know. But also, like, I'm not going to reward you for like, I don't want this and throw it out. I'm not going to give you a snack. Maybe I'll give you a snack because I'm not going to starve you. I'll probably give you like a plain graham cracker. That's all you get. Like, you're not going to get goldfish or Cheez-Its. You're not going to get the good, or you're going to get the animal crackers that taste like cardboard. But apparently they like it.
I think weird. It tastes good.
Tastes like cardboard to me.
It tastes good to me.
I didn't grow up to those cookies. I grew up to fucking Skyflakes and like salt and vinegar chips.
It's salt and vinegar chips, but Skyflakes is fucking like eating. I feel like that's like
Yeah, I grew up with Skyflakes with like stuff on it, with like peanut
Okay.
butter.
Fair. I mean,
I
the
love Skyflakes. It's a flavor vehicle.
I thought you're eating like Skyflakes plain. I'm like,
No.
Skyflakes
When I'm
plain versus Skyflakes plain versus plain animal
Cardboard
crackers. They're both,
Actually, I
they're
dip
both
animal
cardboard.
crackers in frosting.
Oh, that sounds so good. Okay, I think we're good.
So anyway, whatever. So essentially, during like afternoon snack or whatever, she asked for something, and like which she did not deserve. So I said no, and so she was mad about it. But
then
she
you
didn't
brought
say
out your
anything.
lightsaber.
Yeah, and then all of a sudden, I like saw her go back into the little kitchen area because she said she wanted water. I'm like, all right, go get your water. She was like, like I saw her like go to her bag, take a sip of water, and I'm like, why is it taking so long for her to come back? And then I saw her with like her hands in her sweater because it was winter, so she was wearing like a kind of like a big sweater on her. It was like her brother's sweater, and she wanted to wear it. And she like had her hands in the pockets. I was like, okay, whatever. Just being sneaky. I'm not gonna acknowledge it yet. And then I literally saw her pull like a bag of Cheez-Its out that she never had in her lunchbox. And she goes, I got this from Elizabeth. I heard her. She was right behind me. I didn't go, I didn't like yell out her name and like grabbed it from her, made a scene. I literally just grabbed it, put it back in the bag, took her by the hand, put her in the timeout chair, and then left.
Damn.
I said nothing. I didn't make a scene.
That's something I should do for Jordan.
I did not make a scene. I was just like, you're not going to get, nobody's going to know you did this because you're not going to get acknowledgement that you did this. I'm just going to grab this, put it in here. You're going to time out. If you ask me why, I will tell you later. You sit there because you already know what you did anyway.
Damn, this little 4-year-old just straight up jacking other people. Fuck.
There was also another 4-year-old that grabbed a plastic chair. Oh, B-Rock and Diego will appreciate this. She took a chair and hit another kid in the back. But she had the best she had
WWE in
exactly.
Preschool.
She had like good intentions in a way, because I was like, all right, guys, it's time to clean up or whatever. And like these kids were like putting stuff away, we're gonna go outside. And this one kid, I guess she was sad about something. I mean, I went to go talk to her, but like she just sat there and kind of like spaced out or whatever. So this, and I was like helping some other kid like pick up like the heavier wooden blocks. And, and then all of a sudden I just hear, we have to clean, Ava. I am.
Oh my God.
I mean, thank gosh it wasn't like we're fully hurt, like it didn't hit her head or whatever, because she has a tiny body.
Yeah, these are like toddlers fucking pulling WWE shit.
I'm like, oh my God, my makeup's gonna melt. Yeah, I was just like, that was like my first year working at the daycare too. I'm like, I literally like yelled for my boss. I was like, I don't know what to
do. Oh, you make sure you go down. You count 1, 2.
The ref didn't see it.
That's your job. That's your job.
The ref didn't see it. Eddie Guerrero did.
Oh my God.
The cleaner.
That's friggin'
Okay, but yeah. I was speaking of parenting. Guess who's also the worst parent ever? Britney Spears' father.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I was listening to that. Like again, there's just everything's just information from the documentary, so we don't know the full story because we're not in his inner circle or anything like that. But that was weird. Like he wasn't there for much of her career. That all of a sudden, like while this whole breakdown's happening,
the conservatorship, I'm concerned.
And then he just shows up out of nowhere, just like to like capitalize on her anguish to get more money.
Well, here's the thing: she was still earning like money a little bit because people are still buying her records, people are still like streaming her shit. But like at some point she has to put an album out or whatever. So I mean, clearly, I think like I guess Circus, because like here's the thing: Gimme More should have been like an iconic comeback. Like that Blackout album should have been like a great comeback for her. Just like less than a year after the incident. Yeah. Here she comes, first single, opening line, it's Britney bitch.
Yeah.
Wouldn't that have been an amazing thing? But it was botched it was like the promo for that was botched. Like, like you saw that, like the the only promos they did was like calling into radio shows.
Oh yeah.
Because like, what's his face? Sam Lufty, whoever the fuck he is, some like fake guru.
So a bunch of fake gurus nowadays. Even more fake gurus, thanks to the internet.
I think he was one of the first ones.
Yeah.
Because he would like attach himself to celebrities that just so happen to be not going through a good time. Right. So yeah. So anyway, like that whole promo for the Blackout album and the Gimme More single was like botched. And also there were people that are like, herder, that's a wig. I'm like, we know it was less than a year. She has a bob for all I know, or like a weird, like, you know,
pixie cut
right now. But
yeah,
like she wore a wig because she's Britney, bitch.
One thing that also intrigued me was like the Britney Spears podcast that came out of it, and it showed the
Britney Graham.
Yeah, the amount of support that it got, and also brought a lot of awareness to it. But it comes to show, like, through the power of the internet, you can make a show about anything, and then if you distribute it well enough, and people like it, like people will support it. So
yeah,
it's
and then
I have right. What?
Britney Spears' hairstyle when Blackout came out. The hair length was probably around there, less than a year. Actually, no, less than a year would be a pixie cut at this point. Shorter.
This is my hair in a year.
Well, probably with stress, her hair growth probably wasn't that good.
Fair. I don't know how that process, but I guess I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm a dude.
You're a dude
in that sense.
With testosterone. With testosterone.
Bro. I'm like the worst. Just the worst.
God. But yeah. So yeah, Jamie Spears, worst parent ever.
Yeah.
And then here's the thing, like they still want to keep the conservatorship going, or like as tight as it is, even though she's clearly well enough to work. She toured. She did she did a residency in Vegas. She was gonna do another one until she was just like, fuck it, I'm not working until my dad's off my. Like if she can't avoid the conservatorship, she kind of knows, she's like, fine, I'm gonna stay in this conservatorship. I can't fight the conservatorship. I just don't want my father in it. And the thing is, she said that before.
Yeah.
Yeah, the dad was in charge of her money and her decisions until recently, when they were just like, oh, someone else is going to be in charge. No, he's going to be co-conservator of the estate. So he still has some control, but not really.
And then one thing was that the lawyer wanted a bigger percentage from the conservatorship.
Because the thing is,
she was starting to bring in more revenue. I'm like, wait, this isn't a fucking business.
Britney Spears' estate is paying for this conservatorship.
Yeah, they're essentially
they turned it into a business model. They weren't shy about it.
The conservatorship business model.
They actually said it. It's like it's turning into a lucrative business opportunity.
That's fucked up, man.
Like, what the fuck, bro?
Yeah. So I'm weary of like when old friends or people reach out to me like, hey, how you doing? I'm like, well, what the fuck do you want?
Oh, when I first moved to the States, I've had people that are like, oh, hey, can you help me? I'm like, help you with what? I'm literally 16 working freaking like work study at my college.
Oh God.
Yes, B-Rock. It's extorting her for money against her will.
So yeah,
she has no say in it.
Yeah,
so they want her to keep working so she can keep making more money.
I mean, for people on the audio, B-Rock asked if it was the same as extorting for money.
Yeah.
So
but they can't prove it legally as extortion.
Jesus, yeah, there's so many loopholes with the whole system.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, with the release of it's looking.
It answered literally nothing.
Well,
it answered almost nothing. It's like I went in there. I was like, oh my God, like what are we gonna see?
I mean, for me, it brought it to like a lot of stuff I didn't know.
It was already stuff I kind of knew already. It's like the whole Save Britney movement was like put on my radar very early.
Yeah. Because
I also follow Chris Crocker. Leave Britney alone. So he was right the whole time.
Yeah.
I follow Chris Crocker, and so obviously that was like put on my radar very, very early on. I haven't listened to the podcast, but like that was brought on early on, and people were like analyzing her Instagram posts, and like I was like, you know what, maybe I won't discount it, but like I won't look at it as like Bible.
Yeah. I mean, it's really on the speculation towards and conspiracy and if anything, good, interesting content for their podcast too.
Did that too, but but at the same time, they did it out of like pure concern of their idol.
Yeah, and I'm glad that the fans, she had fans like them to really voice it out, and through that brought more. I guess one of the ways that brought more awareness to it, and for me, I feel like it it seems like there's a light at the end of the tunnel that's coming
Yeah.
for her.
Because that's, a quarter of her battle kind of done. Like at least the father is not the sole conservator. Like that's, around 0.5, like done. Like there's just a lot more that she needs.
Yeah.
Like, she needs for her father to not be a conservator. I mean, she needs out of the conservatorship, but like if she can't get out of it, at least don't have her father in it.
Yeah, damn, that's wild, man. That sucks.
And also people are like, oh, but Jamie Lynn's a supportive sister. I'm like, where the fuck was she?
Yeah, that's
where the
true.
Fuck was she? I mean, she had her own shit too. Fine. And she also had her own scandal lately or whatever.
Lately?
It was about the Zoe 101 kind of like reunion kind of thing. Like they were going to do this like one-time event that was like a reunion, like Zoom call or whatever. Apparently the fans that paid for like the VIP thing. It was kind of like TanaCon.
Okay.
Fans paid for like VIP, but like, and they were told or led to assume and like were never corrected that they were getting a one-on-one Zoom call or a private Zoom call with the cast or just Jamie Lynn.
Yeah.
It was an Instagram live that was available for everyone.
So they used pre-recorded content and sold it.
Wait,
is that right? Like the Instagram?
No. So there was going to be an event.
No. I'm just like, was the Instagram live going live as they sent it, or was the Instagram live
It was live. It was live.
Oh, okay.
But like it was available for everyone. There was no private Zoom call or whatever.
There's not. Wow.
Or like private like members only chat or whatever the fuck for fans.
Yeah, because that just reminds me, because what you said like reminded me of like all these fake internet gurus that are trying to teach you how to buy Bitcoin or how to become rich by creating a course, but the only way they've made money is selling you a course. Yeah. Or fake real estate agents or whatever. And those of you in Clubhouse, please be careful of these fake entrepreneurs who are fucking talking, trying to teach you
gurus wisely.
Yeah, so please be careful with that. But yeah, like a lot of these, even like the Dan Lokes of the world, Kevin David, I think JT Fox, a lot of these people, or even Grant Cardone, like a lot of them, like, okay, I'm going to go into
context.
These guys are essentially just internet marketing gurus selling courses, and they do amazing marketing jobs. I'm just going to keep it as simple as possible. Marketing jobs. They can do amazing marketing jobs to get you interested. Like they show the Lamborghini, the lifestyle, everything. But when you get into this course, it costs you like $500, $2,000. The course material is shit, and it's just like bad. It was from like a previously recorded webinar. That's why I asked if the live was previously recorded, because I've heard
the live was legit, but they were promised a private call, like it's like a VIP thing, like a VIP meet and greet. If I went to DragCon, but I have the wristband for the meet and greet, I will get to meet my drag queen of choice. Like if I didn't have it, then I just I can just sit on chill out on the floor, and maybe I'll run into a drag queen. Maybe.
I mean, yeah, that still sucks. They paid for an experience that was never delivered, at least in the way it was supposed to be.
Yeah.
Speaking of drag queens, just to go on a tangent, one of our prospect clients on their podcast, because I haven't sent them the proposal yet, but they had Laganja on their podcast, and
another plant lover.
So he was one of this guy was prospect was actually one of the people that were in the conversations and helping me start Temper Tantrum, though no one in Temper Tantrum ever really got to meet him. He was just like one of the guys that hugely influenced
you told me about him.
I talked to him today, and him and his business partner, we're going to be potentially working on, I think, just the advertising. I still need to send them the proposal. Yeah, a little bit of business stuff here occasionally. So yeah, go check. I'm not going to promote their podcast right now because I don't know why. I'm not.
Just don't.
They're not sponsoring us.
Cut.
Anyways, I think we're going to end it here, everyone. So appreciate everyone who listened, who's listening, who's watching on the YouTube and on Twitch. And if you guys like it, wherever you're watching this on YouTube or wherever, make sure you hit like, subscribe, share this with friends who you think might enjoy it. And if you're listening to this on Apple Podcasts, make sure you leave us a nice positive review. And if you don't like it, leave us a positive review. And shouts out to everyone who was on chat. Shouts out to Diego, Neff, B-Rock, who's been here the
Jax,
whole
who was
time.
here.
Jax, who was here earlier. So I appreciate you guys. Hope you guys are enjoying. You guys enjoyed the live stream of the podcast. And those of you guys who are listening, join us for the podcast. We would love for you guys to be there and we can chat. So with that, we'll see you guys in the next episode of Awkward Tea Party, or I'll see you guys on, K-pop church this Sunday.
Yes. Don't forget to wear your Sunday best, aka sweatpants.
So appreciate you guys, and we'll see you guys on the next one.